You're joining me, David Paldano. Let's now take a look at your headlines. Sri Lanka celebrates the 72nd Independence Day. The official website of GAMMADDA V4, Sri Lanka's largest volunteer force, launched today. And China admits shortcomings and deficiencies in tackling the coronavirus. Now taking a look at some local news, the 72nd Independence Day celebration was held at the Independence Square this morning. The event was presided over by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa.
අතිගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමාගේ සම්ප්‍රාප්තිය සටහන් වන මොහොත ශ්‍රී ලංකා ප්‍රජාතාන්ත්‍රික සමාජවාදී ජනරජයේ අතිගරු ජනාධිපති Gotabaya Rajapaksa මැතිතුමා සහ
The Independence Day celebrations began with the arrival of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, Opposition Leader Sajith Premadasa and Speaker Karu Jayasuriya also attended the event among other dignitaries. The event was also attended by foreign dignitaries and ambassadors. Commander-in-Chief of the Russian Ground Forces, Army General Oleg Salyukov, attended the Independence Day celebrations as a special invitee. The celebrations began after the President hoisted the national flag. A 2-minute silence was then observed in memory of the fallen war heroes. This was followed by a guard of honor for the President.
අපි නීතියේ ආධිපත්‍යයට හැම විටම ගරු කළ
We must always respect the rule of law. The public will get real freedom only when the law is fairly and equally applied. My government has taken steps to change the culture of political interference in legal matters. We have many challenges ahead of us. We need everyone's support for the efforts taken by the government to overcome them. The policy statement I placed before you comprises an action plan that will allow us to overcome the challenges before us. It is our expectation to create a prosperous nation through this. Only the present generation can realize this hope on behalf of future generations. I request all Sri Lankans to join with us in accepting this responsibility that history has bestowed upon us.
අනාගත පරපුර වෙනුවෙන් මේ බලාපොරොත්තුව ඉටු කළ හැක්කේ වත්මන් පරපුරටයි. ඉතිහාසය විසින් අප මත පවරා ඇති මේ ඓතිහාසික වගකීම ඉටු කිරීමට අප හා එක්වන මෙන් සියලු ශ්‍රී ලාංකික ජනතාවගෙන් මා ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා.
The Guard of Honor at today's Independence Day parade saw the participation of members from the Tri-Forces, Police, Special Task Force and Civil Defence Force. 3,376 Army personnel, 799 members of the Navy and 847 members of the Air Force took part in this year's Guard of Honor. Similarly, 596 police officers, 327 members of the SDF and 385 members of the Civil Defence Force took part in the Guard of Honor. The Sri Lanka Navy has also organised a series of displays this evening centering the Galle Face in Colombo to mark the 72nd Independence Day, which is being held under the theme A Secure Nation, a Prosperous Country.
On the day of the 72nd anniversary of independence, let's now take a look back at the story of independence of our island nation.
In mid-November 1505, a fleet of ships sailing under the Portuguese flag landed on the island, marking the beginning of an unfortunate era for the sovereignty of the country. The group was headed by Lorenzo de Almeida. By 1517, the coastal belt of Sri Lanka was taken under the rule of the Portuguese. In 1655, the Dutch, headed by Gerard Hulf, invaded the island, bringing an end to over 100 years of rule of the Portuguese in the island. In 1796, the English took control of the island from the Dutch after buying over the mercenary group Regiment de Muron that served as the strongholds of the Dutch. The coastal belt of the island were the first to fall to the grasp of the English. The aim of the invading British force was to bring the entire island under the colonial rule of the Queen. The only obstacle they faced in accomplishing this feat is the belief that they had to possess the sacred tooth relic to gain over the island and the ingenious military tactics of the Kandyan kingdom. The English resorted to exploit the conflict between the Nayaka kings at the time and their ministers and advisors. After winning over the support of the Ahaliapola Nilame in 1815, the British seized control over the entire island through the Kandyan Convention. The first instance of resistance against the British rule in the country was the riots of 1818. Gongale Godabanda and Veerapura Nappu lead the second struggle for independence in the island in 1848. In 1917, the struggle for independence had transformed from an armed conflict to a more political movement. Movements led by renowned personalities like Srimat Anagarika Dharmapala gave rise to social empowerment. Sri Lanka was declared an independent state in 1948 as a result of the combined efforts of the people belonging to all races and religions of the country.
Now issuing a message to mark the 72nd Independence Day of Sri Lanka, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that the independence faced unprecedented challenges over the past few years. He noted that this is a clear example which demonstrates that achieving freedom and preserving it are two different matters entirely.
In a statement, the Prime Minister said, quote unquote, "When we look back upon the 72 years that have passed since we gained independence, we see some cause for satisfaction. Even in the midst of some serious challenges, the system of representative democracy based on universal suffrage has survived in this country. We are ahead of most countries in terms of indices relating to health and literacy. We have a free media and every citizen is assured of his personal safety." Issuing a message to mark the 72nd Independence Day of Sri Lanka, Leader of the Opposition Sajith Premadasa noted that the beating heart of our nation was and has always been the people, and that the people never lost hope even when they were under colonial powers. Premadasa believes that we must remember the heroes and especially the unsung heroes who laid down their lives to ensure our freedom, adding that it is now up to us to ensure that their struggle was not in vain. The opposition leader reiterated the importance of standing against attempts to disunite our people, which ultimately weakens our nation. Meanwhile, issuing a statement, former President Maithripala Sirisena said, "All patriots who have sacrificed their lives for the freedom of the society will always be praised by the nation." The former president added that all must commit themselves to ensure security in the country. In a statement, Speaker Karu Jayasuriya said that freedom is one of the greatest inspirations enjoyed by mankind.
Several events commenced this morning to mark the 72nd Independence Day.
A religious ceremony to mark the Independence Day was held this morning at the Polwata Chandrasekhara Rama Vihara, Kalpiti.
Today the sovereignty of the country is being challenged. I would like to remind you at this proud moment we should keep away from party differences when there are international threats that are politically inside the country.
අපි සියලු දෙනාම රටේ උන්නතිය දක්වා කැපවෙමින් තියෙන්නේ මගේ කෙටි අදහස් ඉදිරිපත් කිරීම අවසන් කර සිටිනවා ජයග්‍රාහී ශ්‍රී ලංකාව අපි සැවොම එකතු වෙලා නිර්මාණය කරමු සියලු දෙනාටම ජයශ්‍රී.
In the meantime, religious observances were performed at the Kalpiti Jumma Masjid. The religious services commenced with the Northern Province Governor A.J.M. Muzammil. Meanwhile, a prayer of thanksgiving for Independence Day was held this morning at Baptist Church, Colombo 3. The Independence Day celebration organized by the Kandy Municipal Council was held this morning opposite the D.S. Senanayaka statue at the Temple of the Secret Tooth Relic. D.S. Senanayaka was also paid floral tribute.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has granted a presidential pardon to 512 prisoners to mark the 72nd Independence Day today. 17 female inmates of the Wataraka Open Prison Camp were released under this program. The release was conducted under the orders of the Assistant Superintendent of Prisons, Nima Shanta. According to our correspondent, the inmates were received by their relatives at the prison gates. The Governor of North and Central Provinces, Professor Tissa Vitarana, expressed his views on the steps Sri Lanka has taken to face the coronavirus.
අපේ රට තුල ක්‍රියා කරලා තියෙන ආකාරය මේ කොරෝනා වෛරස් රෝගය ගැන නම් මට එච්චර
I am not satisfied with the measures taken in the country to face the coronavirus. The President and the Prime Minister were called for meetings. But Dr. Jaima of the Institute of Medical Research, who is conducting research on this matter, was not called for meetings. Professor Malik Piris, who is the specialist who researched about the SARS virus, is living in Hong Kong. We took the necessary steps through the Institute of Medical Research. The TRC test can be used to find the origins of any virus. We don't need a Class 3 cabinet to investigate this matter. I would like to ask why we are spending huge sums of money for a trivial virus like this.
ඒකට මේ පත්තර අරගෙන බලනකොට MRI එකේ නියම මේ ක්‍රියා කිරීමේ අවශ්‍ය දේ නැහැ කියලා සඳහන් කරනවා. මේක පරීක්ෂා කිරීමට මේ ආරක්ෂක.
Speaking at a media briefing convened yesterday, the Socialist People's Front expressed the following views regarding the central bank bond scam.
They spoke about the central bank bond scam. It was spoken of for 5 years. Meanwhile, 5 reports came out. The first one was the one I published. They were going to dissolve Parliament and try to ban it, but we somehow found a way to present it to the Presidential Commission. The second report was the Handunetti report. The third report is the Auditor General's report that was presented to Parliament. And then there was the Presidential Commission report. And finally, there was the Forensic Audit report. There are a total of 5 reports. They spent 5 years to try to sweep this under the carpet. We need to keep on reminding them about this, as there is a debate coming up in Parliament on the 18th and 19th of this month. The central bank bond scam is one of the most serious financial scams that had taken place in the country. How many of the accused have been brought before a court of law? Where is Arjuna Mahendran? What was the result of all of this? The Parliament should know about this. So I believe that the Attorney General's Department should present a report to Parliament on the progress of the investigations. If the Parliament is really interested in this, they should appoint a committee. The interest shown by the Speaker towards this is not enough. This committee should include representatives from all parties and continue to engage in discussions with the Attorney General. This is a 5-year investigation that is still being conducted.
Minister Mahinda Amaravira expressed the future plans of the United People's Freedom Alliance at a ceremony held in Hambantota yesterday.
We will create the Sri Lanka Podujana Alliance with the combination of the SLFP and the SLPP. The leaders of the alliance will discuss and contest the elections under one symbol. We will not quarrel over that matter. We hope to join hands and give the president a strong government with a 2/3 majority. As the SLFP, we will not do anything to harm the process President Gotabaya Rajapaksa is carrying out to develop the country. We agree to support President Gotabaya Rajapaksa unconditionally. We will have discussions with him as the alliance and work towards a prosperous future.
Now taking a look at one of your headline making stories, the official website of GAMMADDA V-Force, Sri Lanka's largest volunteer force, was launched today.
The GAMMADDA V-Force voluntary movement was initiated on the 21st of July in 2018 with the participation of youth volunteers in the country. The first project was to conduct a clean-up operation at the World Heritage of Sigiriya. V-Force teams then conducted many projects, including a clean-up operation at the Nigambo Lagoon, planting trees beside the Kalu River in Ratnapura, renovation of the Ginivita Primary School in Kegol, a clean-up operation at Mahapalugasweva in Mahava, and planting trees at the Alla Forest Reserve. In addition, drug eradication programs and dengue eradication programs were also carried out by GAMMADDA V-Force. V-Force Challenge Trophy was also introduced recently. The new website, www.vforce.lk, will grant you the opportunity to be a part of this volunteer force. The website will keep you updated on the upcoming GAMMADDA V-Force projects, and you can also provide us with your valuable feedback on these initiatives.
A very happy Independence Day, Sri Lanka. We're also very, very proud to announce the launch of the official V-Force website at www.vforce.lk. Now, we're all looking for an opportunity to serve our nation, to do what we can for the progress of our people. And here's an opportunity. So if you'd like to be part of all the incredibly exciting activities that VForce does, all you need to do is log on to the website, sign up, and we'll make sure to keep you informed of all the activities that VForce does. This includes supporting communities and also leadership seminars and training programs, etc. So if you'd like to be part of the exciting VForce movement, log on to Newsfirst.lk and sign up right now.
කතාව ක්‍රියාවෙන් ඔප්පු කරන සෙට් එකට මමත් VForce එකතු වෙන්න ඔයාටත් ඉඩක් තියෙනවා.
www.weforce.lk. Join the